Hey, hi, this is Dr. Carla Michelle, and I'm glad to have this time with you on the Strong Network podcast. Let's just jump right in because I want to talk to you today about confidence. And when I think about confidence for myself, I know there's so many times that I've have to, I think you're born that way, right? Because you can go by your family and what's happened or what hasn't happened, and you think that confidence comes from maybe your environment. And it can in some ways, but it's also good to know that confidence doesn't just happen. It is something that you build, and it's something that is built by the actions that you take, right? And so today I want to talk about the three stages of confidence because in business, in life, in relationships, they are the levels of confidence that we need to know. So, that first level, we have to understand that fear is a part of it. Fear is that first stage of confidence. Fear. And fear wants you not to do what you say you're going to do. Fear wants you to second guess. Fear wants you to stay in your head. Fear wants you to overthink. Fear wants you to stop. Fear wants you to believe that you're going to struggle and you're going to struggle hard. Fear makes you think, I'm not going to turn on that camera. I don't look as good as I need to look. I don't think I know what I need to say. Uh, Fear, that first stage. Fear is the one that's going to challenge you and make you question yourself. It's an obstacle, it's a hurdle, and sometimes it's a wall. Fear does not play. But when you're in that fear zone, you have to answer that fear of, I'm not going to do good, to what if I do well? What is the worst case scenario that can happen from this? If I move forward, if I ask for that raise, if I go for that relationship, if I have that child, if I buy that home, if I buy that car, fear, what can the worst thing that can happen? I remember thinking about buying a car. My lease was up on the other one, and I was going to move into a newer car, which lease allows, but the dealership didn't have at this time any cars in there for their availability. So I was going to another dealership. The other dealership was double the payment that I was making. I thought I had it wasn't an inexpensive monthly payment, but this one doubled it. And the fear that kind of gripped me, in the sense of why am I fearing? So I had to ask myself that. Why am I fearing? Because I knew I was going to still move forward, but fear was trying to have its way. If it wasn't me, I literally having to put on a tape or something, a tape, there's no tapes. There's no tapes. I put it on a recording in my head about, listening to one of my own posts about moving forward, about keeping it going, about what is the biggest, best thing that could happen from this. And I had to go as minute as the safety of the car, not the kind of car it was as much, but the safety of it and the features in it and all the things that this car could bring to my life. And that's what helped me move out of that fear zone into the understanding that, okay, what's next? Then what's next? Stage two, it's that stretch. It is that stretch zone. It is where, and I was stretched. When we talk about that car, it stretched me. It stretched me because it was double the payment, right? And the insurance pretty much stayed the same. It wasn't a problem with that, but it was double the payment because at this time, nobody had cars. And so, kind of the stuff they were doing, I think, I think I did get a very good deal. However, I think I could have got a better deal in different circumstances. But there was a stretch. And in that stretch, I could no longer think about not being confident. I couldn't. I had to move. I had to go ahead and excuse me, I had to go ahead and I had to make that decision. I had to buy into it. So if we stay with the car story, I had to go turn in my car that I had to the other dealership. And basically I would be, this is not, I mean, yes, I'm looking at the car. Yes, they're saying we can get you into something, but I had nothing concrete at the time. So I knew I would get money from the car I was turning in. Well, money I meant, they were going to make me pay the fee. If you turn in a lease and you don't buy another car from them, you pay $500-600, whatever, for it, for that, for not being a continual customer. And my negotiation was that I've been with you a long time. You need to cut me a check for my greatness, basically. I mean, that was in my head, but this is the stretching, even stretching in this. But this was my confidence in that area. And so they said, hey, we'll help you out. We'll cut you a check when that payment comes for you to take care of. We've given you the money. Cool. They gave me the check in 24 hours. I picked it up. Now they already had the car at the time, I believe. No, did they? Yeah, I had to go get it later. But mind you, before that, I am dropping off my car. They're taking me to my home to take the stuff out of my car. And then they were taking me to the other dealership. It was a whole nother, it ain't the same car. So they dropped me off kindly to the other dealership. So here I am, no car, nothing was really confirmed that you're going home with a car, even though they told me. They haven't ran my credit. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing official. I had nothing signed. I just had some numbers on some paper. So I'm sitting there carless, literally. So the stretch was, I am going to show up anyway. I showed up anyway. I did not let the fear of double payment, the fear of, oh, I'm here without a car, the fear of what is going to happen next. What if I don't have a car and I'm fine? You know, I could have been okay without a car, but still I want a car. Maybe I don't need it. I want one, right? But I had to show up anyway. And then making that decision to move, even when I didn't have the okay in my hand. So I'm there as cars take, and I said that I don't want to be here all day. I cannot be here 5, 6, 7, 8 hours trying to get this car. I needed to move fast. And they did. They moved it fairly fast. And it ended up, the car that I was going to get, something, I think anyway, I'm not going to read into it. Anyway, it was not bad, but I ended up getting something better than what I had test drove and all. And it was great. So it still was a little shaky in the sense of now I'm responsible. I'm responsible for this car. I'm responsible for these payments. I'm responsible to make the money to make these payments because I am me. I work for myself. And even in that moment, I had to build in real time the confidence needed to sustain the decision that I made. Where in your life you've made the decision, you've moved past fear, and now you're in that stretch zone. Where is it that you need to buy into that decision that you made fully? Even if it's shaky, you have to own that. And that's the third step. The third stage is ownership, owning that, being in that ownership zone. So I'm pulling out of there with this car with maybe 5 miles on it. I think I put 3 just test driving it. But I had to own that this was it. This was me doing this. And I am not going to let doubt and insecurities have its way in what I want to do and what I actually have bought into. I moved in it mentally. So where do you need to move in it mentally? It's no longer thinking about being confident. It's about being confident. You new employee, new position, you've been in that fear, you stretched, you went for it, you took that money, you took that job, you're moving past imposter syndrome. And now you're where you own it, where I could do this. I can do this. So you have to own it, be confident, become who you are, become who you know you are. Be that. Be that person that you said you needed to be. Be that employee, be that business owner. Move out of fear, stretch yourself, and own it. So wherever you are today, wherever you are in the stages, know this, you're not stuck. You're not stuck. Confidence is about building. Confidence is about level to level, from fear to stretching to owning. You're building. All right. That's all I have for you today. This is Dr. Carla Michelle, and I'm thanking you for your time. And I hope to see you next time. All right. Take care.